to the advisor, that it should always be like telling the truth but it is the advisor who has the life experience and everything, whether this would be like just slandering him, this would be the truth, and these actions did actually occur, but it's one of those things, it should, like, presenting it to the advisor before like it gets published and everything would be able to make sure that the article is not going too far.
And also in life, Charlie's not always going to have someone like watching over him and like guiding her throughout life, and so maybe she needs to learn to like make the decisions on her own whether she wants to be truthful or not. And so the advisor is like someone that she can turn to if she needs them, but she should also try to make the decisions on her own, which is important for the rest of her life and her future.
Okay, just a follow-up, but you would think that she has an obligation to bring the advisor in on this deliberation.
Well, I feel as though in the high school newspaper, one of my best friends is on the high school newspaper at our high school. Any article that gets published in the paper has to go through the advisors. Like, you don't have any choice whether you can just skip the advisor and go right to the paper, because it is in high school and our brains are not fully functioned, so we may not, or fully developed, so we may not make the best decisions. So everything has to go through the advisor in the first place. It's one of those things, it's, if she feels so morally like unsure of like, if she should publish it, then she should bring it to her editor or her advisor in person. A lot of times I know with our high school newspaper, it's kind of like a drop box. You just put it in with your name and everything. But if she is worried that this is a moral dilemma, then yes, she could go to her advisor in person.
Good, thank you.
Nice job, you guys. My question, I guess, is I'm wondering, does the fact that this is a high school newspaper, and so that all the discussions about journalistic integrity and the obligations to the press and so on, is there any way in which the setting here modulates that a bit?
Well, I think that either way it happens, if this is going to be a precedent for her future later in life, and if she learns that as of right now, like publishing the story would be a good thing, while publishing the story would not be like for her and everything, like that would set a precedent for the rest of her life. So I feel as though like she should set a good precedent, which we feel would be publishing the story.
Can I follow up real quick?
Yeah.
I'm wondering then, I mean, in some ways one could look at this as a violation of a school policy or rule, or there's a disciplinary action maybe involved. Should every student who's violated a school rule, who's been caught maybe in some inappropriate action, who's cheated on a test, to any number of scenarios, is that fair game for the school newspaper? Is that the kind of thing that should be published?
I think that sort of situation where it's violating a school rule should be left up to like a higher authority, and it shouldn't be up to the newspaper to be like the police in this situation if it was like on a higher extent. I think their job is just to inform the public. It's not really to like accuse someone of any actions.
Going off of what she said, it said in this that it's the group members get hours based on how much money they raised. So technically he is raising money. It's just he is giving the money himself, which is what which is what poses the moral dilemma. So it's not, this case is not going against the school rule, which is why we take that stand.
And Jason is also the leader of this group, so he is expected to be upheld to, I guess, kind of a responsibility. So when he's cheating all the other members of the group, he's having an effect on the school. Somebody cheating off of the test, yes, that's violating school rules, yes, that's not right, but it's not something that would affect the public. It's not something that would affect a group. It would affect the student's grade, and it would affect the student that he cheated off of. So when it is a kind of a public affair, or at least in this high school, I think it's right that it should be run in the newspaper, that should be reported.
Going off of that kind of, with what he is reporting, and I lost my train of thought, sorry. With going off of like what he's reporting on and everything, this will come out eventually. Everything eventually does. It just depends on whether it's going to come out this year, this next month, whether it's going to come out like 2 days from now. So eventually it will come to light. And I think it's more, with this case, Charlie knows that it's just Jason who is doing this and who is just donating money just to get the hours. So it will affect him, but maybe in a future like case and everything, it will come out and it will affect the entire group. And the rest of the group has done nothing wrong, but they could get the stigma from what Jason's done.
Yeah, and it's not fair to the rest of the people in the group to have to suffer for Jason's actions. I feel like Jason should be the only one held to the consequences that he faces, that he brought upon himself for the unorthodox methods that he's been using to run this program. Because, as Sam said, everyone else in the group is not involved in the moral dilemma that Jason is facing to the entire group. And as our group said already, I feel that it should only be upheld to Jason because it is affecting a public affair. Okay.
Thank you for your presentation. I wanted to follow up. You seem to suggest at one point that the only limit on the journalist's obligation to tell the truth was a violation of privacy. Am I correct? That's the limit?
Yes.
I'm wondering, what do you make of cases where there might be diplomatic or state secrets that a journalist becomes aware of, and the release of those would both benefit the public, but also perhaps damage national security?
I think in cases of that, we have, in our current stance with the internet and everything, you have ways of publishing stuff without the journalist. So if you get a hold of that stuff and you feel like it should be made public, yes, you yourself can publish it. It's not the journalist's standpoint, but it's one of those things you have to know like the consequences of your actions. Like if you publish something that's classified, yes, you have to know that you are going to jail. It is going to happen. But it's not. You shouldn't have to rope anyone in with you.
Yeah, and Edward Snowden, he used to work for the NSA, he stole documents from the NSA archive from all information and their unorthodox methods of stealing basically information, violating people's privacy, and he basically leaked that to the public. I think that's what we were trying to get at there with the question. And so basically he stole from the NSA, which I feel like is a negative way of doing that. So in cases where the journalist is taking unethical methods of journalism and they're going above and beyond their boundaries as a journalist and their limits as a journalist, then yes, I kind of lost my thought.
I think what he's trying to say is that if the method of getting the truth is unorthodox and it's against the laws and everything, then it should not be used that way. But if the method of getting the truth, like in this case, it might be small, but she found out one way or another but it was all legal. Like in that case of Edward Snowden, it wasn't legal how he obtained the documents, so the journalist doesn't have the obligation to publish it.
Yeah.
Well, I'd like to
Just
say.
briefly, at times you seem to be talking about the sort of absolute duty to tell the truth, and at times it seems based on the consequences. I'm just wondering how you reconcile those two,
I think
or what's really doing the work for you.
I feel as though, like Darlis, I think our group feels that the truth is always like your best standpoint and everything. But it's one of those things you also have to look about how you get the truth. If you get the truth from those illegal means, then it wouldn't be the best policy. And if you get the truth by violating someone's privacy, that might not be the best means either.